Hi everyone, I'm Liz. I am new to Booktube, and so I figured I would do the Booktube Newbie Tag and answer some questions so that you guys can get to know me. I started this channel because I like books, I like reading books, I love talking about books, and I have, like most other people who start Booktube channels, no one really in my life that likes to read or read as much as I do or read what I do. My best friend, my person, Britt, she likes some of the same books. In fact, I'm pretty sure our favorite author is the same person right now. Um, but for the most part, I just don't have people that I can talk to about books, and so I figured I would just talk to the internet about books instead. I do have a Bookstagram account, which I will link in the description. But yeah, I just don't have anyone to talk to about books, and I'm sure my husband is sick of hearing about books. So I figured, let's do this. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? Well, I don't normally read popular books, or at least current popular books. I don't like romance. I find romance, romantasy, the enemies to lovers sort of trope, it's really, really cringe to me. It's just not something I tend to like. And that seems to be like huge right now. So that's not really something you're going to see here. I probably will read, or I tend to read more like horror, thriller, psychological thriller, and fantasy, and high fantasy, definitely high fantasy. But none of the popular romance or romantasy books, with the exception of Fourth Wing. I loved Fourth Wing until the end, and all of the like little bits of romance that were through it, that was a little bit cringe. But the story of Fourth Wing was phenomenal until the end. That was almost a 5-star read for me. That was such a good book until the romance came in, and that kind of ruined it for me. That made me a bit sad, but it is what it is. What are you most excited for about this new channel? I am so excited to find people who I can talk to about books, who love books as much as I do, who love the same sort of genres and the same authors and the same things that I do. I just to be able to talk to other bookish people is so exciting. Yeah, that's very exciting to me. Okay, the next two I'm probably going to put together. Why do you love reading? Well, because reading books means that I get to experience different lives, different stories, just without ever having to leave the comfort of my home. I can experience whole new worlds, and that is amazing to me, especially if you have a book that comes with like a map and like an index at the back for like how things are pronounced, and what things are. The immersion in a book like that is like nothing else. Like the Wheel of Time series, that makes me so happy. What book or series got you into reading? I don't remember, because I have been reading for such a long time that I couldn't really tell you one specific book. I remember reading Judy Blume and Goosebumps as a child. As an older child, I got into Stephen King. I don't know, I've just been reading, and David Gemmell actually, in my early teens. I read a lot. There was a lot of different books really influenced my reading. Um, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I am a very big introvert, as much as I'm talking right now, and I feel very uncomfortable in front of a camera. So I'm sure as I make more videos that will change, but it has taken about 3 months just to get up the courage to do this. So probably overcoming being in front of a camera and like being very shy, and the anxiety of putting just something on the internet also, because once it's on the internet, it's there forever. When did you start reading? I started reading very young. Have, or had, I don't have any now, but I had photos of me reading chapter books in grade 1 and grade 2. So I've probably been reading for a very long time. Yeah, I don't remember a time where I was not reading. I've always been reading. And if I don't read every day, I get very antsy. I have to read. It's usually the last thing I do before I go to bed is read a book, because that's my way of winding down. But every opportunity I get, I'm reading. And it has been like that for as long as I can remember. I would even get in trouble in school because I would finish my schoolwork very quickly, and then I would pull a book out and I would read a book instead of getting more work from the teacher. So there's that. Where do you read? I read everywhere. I read in bed, I read at my desk, I read on the lounge, I read in the hammock outside, I read at school pickup while waiting for the bell to go to get my little man from school. I read everywhere, just everywhere. Every opportunity I have, I read. What kind of books do you like to read? Like I said earlier, I love to read horror, I love to read fantasy, I love to read thriller, psychological thriller, high fantasy, almost anything, even contemporary. I can do contemporary books too, or contemporary fiction. Almost anything except romance. Romance is just, it's not for me. Okay, I figured, just to wrap this video up, I would do my last, current, and next books. So my last book, I borrow library books because I don't like buying books that I never end up reading again. So if I know I will read a book from an author, I will buy everything from them. But if I don't, or if I'm like on the fence about a book or an author or an author's style of writing, I don't typically buy books. So I utilize our library, our local library, which is only 5 minutes away, so I'm very lucky. I utilize them a lot. We're lucky that with the library we get free reservations, we don't have any overdue fees. They tend to have new releases either the week that they're released, if not the day they're released, or the next week. Like they usually have, depending on how popular the book is, anywhere up to, I think the most I've seen was 15 copies of new releases. So we're really lucky with that. Okay, so my last read was Looking Glass Sound by Catriona Ward. Her books are phenomenal. This was phenomenal. The ending was a little bit not what I expected. Not, I think, what the book should have been, but not bad. It was good. It was good. I think I gave it 4.5 stars. It was a really good book. I highly recommend, if you haven't read any of Catriona Ward's books, to read them. The Last House on Needless Street was phenomenal. That was a 5-star read. I couldn't put that book down. My current read is Assassin's Apprentice. I think I've read this before. It seems really familiar. I'm just not sure when, but I'm going to read through this series. I'm loving this book. This is so good. I'm almost halfway through. I can't wait to finish this book and the series. This has actually really caught my attention. This is exactly what I need from a fantasy story. I love it. And my next read is Red Rising. I've heard a lot of really mixed reviews. I actually had one friend that I follow on Bookstagram who had to not DNF it, but just put it down for a little bit because it was a little bit too much for them. But I'm very excited for this. It seems like a very good story, and I can't wait. I can't wait to read it. This is my next read. So thank you if you've made it this far. I appreciate you watching my video. If you have any book recommendations, anything that you think that I will like, or even just whatever your favorite book is, if you could just let me know and I will add it to my TBR. Thank you. I'll see you next time.